Ham vs Newcastle United, post-match player ratings. Newcastle United made it 4 wins on the bounce after a dominating away performance against West Ham United, defeating the Hammers 5-1. This puts Eddie Howe's men on 53 points for the season, and now positions the team as strong favourites to qualify for the Champions League. The Geordies maintain third place and share the same points as Manchester United, who were also victorious, beating Brentford 1-0. As for David Moyes' men, they dropped down 1 place to 15th, with only 4 points separating them from Southampton, who are in last place, continuing to add to what will be one of the most dramatic relegation battles that the Premier League has seen. West Ham. Łukasz Fabianski, 2/10. The 37-year-old had a game to forget, conceding 5 goals and only making 2 saves all game, including one mistake that led directly to Alexander Isak's goal. The goalkeeper also displayed poor distribution, with only 33% of his passes being successful, reinforcing the Irons' lackluster display. Thilo Kehrer, 3/10. The German right-back was exploited on numerous occasions by Newcastle's Alan St-Maximin, often being poorly positioned and showing a lack of awareness of his opponent's whereabouts. Needlessly headed the ball out of play for a corner early on, which ultimately led to Callum Wilson's first goal. Kurt Zouma, 4/10. Was caught flat-footed for Joelinton's first goal, not positioning himself correctly, which allowed the Brazilian to run in behind. Scored West Ham's only goal, and that was his only worthy contribution. Naya Fagerd, 2/10. Persistently lost possession of the ball throughout the game, 63% passing accuracy, and was directly at fault for Wilson's second goal of the evening, courtesy of a shocking first touch which trapped the ball at his feet, allowing for Jacob Murphy to nab the ball off him. Emerson Palmieri, 4/10. Arguably fortunate not to be sent off after being booked towards the end of the first half, and continuing to commit fouls throughout the second half. He did, however, boast a reasonable passing accuracy of 84% and was one of the better West Ham defenders on the pitch. Tomasz Soucek, 4/10. Ghosted most of the game, didn't really contribute anything defensively or offensively, and left his midfield partner, Declan Rice, all the work to do. Below average performance for the Czech. Declan Rice, 7/10. Despite his team suffering a heavy defeat, he's still shown and proved why he is one of the most sought-after CDMs in Europe. Was successful in all 5 of his dribbling attempts, often being the primary ball advancer for the Irons while dictating their midfield, and also completed an impressive shift defensively. Jared Bowen, 5/10. The Englishman caused Dan Burn some problems throughout the game, but ultimately his efforts resulted in very little. Was wasteful in front of goal and lost possession 19 times. Lucas Paqueta, 6/10. Again, similar to Bowen, he showed flashes of his dribbling ability but was unable to link up with Michail Antonio effectively. Contributed decently defensively, tracking back well, but was marked out the game offensively, losing the ball 18 times. Said Benrahma, 5/10. Rarely got involved in the game, only touched the ball 33 times and contributed 1 successful cross. Struggled to influence the game on a holistic level, but was accurate with his passes 81%. Although, the Algerian contributed nothing defensively, leaving Emerson with 2 versus 1s to deal with. Michail Antonio, 5/10. With his podcast partner scoring against him combined with the Jamaican's lack of contribution, West Ham's number 9 will want to put a line through this one. Only had 25 touches of the ball and was accurate in only 33% of his passes, although this he was not helped by his teammates who left him isolated up top. Substitutes. Flynn Downs, 5/10. Was on the pitch for around 30 minutes but only touched the ball 14 times, and was inaccurate with his passing. Did not impact the game at all, was yellow-carded as well. Danny Ings, 5/10. Once again, there is not much to be said. From what I remember, he spent the majority of his time on the pitch complaining to the referee. Was not involved in any of West Ham's attacking build-up and only touched the ball 8 times. Vladimir Kafel, 4 out of 10. Was not as bad as Kehrer, but did a decent job trying to match him. Kafel was sloppy on the ball, and showed little composure, losing possession 9 times and was only accurate with 58% of his passes. Came on to help organize the backline with his experience, but failed to do that. Maxwell Cornet, 6 out of 10. Although the 26-year-old did little wrong when he came on, he failed to impact the game and was unable to provide the much-needed boost to the West Ham attack. Newcastle were probably glad Cornet decided to join the Irons, as the player has ultimately contributed very little to the club since his departure from Burnley. Newcastle United. Nick Pope, 6 out of 10. The England number 2 was not forced to work much due to the Hammers' lethargic attack and only made 1 save all game. Arguably could have done better for the goal Zuma scored and was fairly poor with his distribution throughout the game. Kieran Trippier, 7 out of 10. An archetypal Trippier performance. The 32-year-old was composed on the ball and easily found a way past the West Ham press. Boasted a 80% pass completion rate. And effectively helped the Magpies build up the ball from the back and won all of his aerial duels, kept Benrahma quiet. Fabian Schär, 9 out of 10. The right centre-back showed immense defensive awareness all game, winning 5 ground duels and 4 in the air, as well as making 5 interceptions and 4 tackles. Also got an assist for Joelinton's goal with a rather brilliant through ball. Clean sheet may have seen him awarded with October 10th. Sven Botman, 8 out of 10. The Dutchman put in another performance, proving why he could be one of the bargains of the season. Showed equanimity on the ball, often finding a way through the Irons' press. Showcased his usual range of passing and was successful with 81% of his attempts. Won all but one of his aerial and ground duels. Arguably at fault for Zuma's goal, however he was blocked from following his runner by Kehrer. Dan Burn, 7 out of 10. Bowen did cause the left-back some trouble throughout the game, often exploiting his lack of pace, however he still managed the winger reasonably well. Burn won most of his ground duels and made the most tackles on the pitch 6. Looked slightly leggy late on, and was substituted for Matt Targett. Sean Longstaff, 7/10. The 25-year-old put in a solid performance where Howe had him playing a box-to-box role that put his athleticism and stamina to test. However, it was mission successful for the Englishman. Newcastle's number 36 had the highest passing accuracy on the pitch, 90%, and played a solid role defensively, nullifying Paqueta. Although he did not get a chance today, Longstaff made some impressive attacking runs into the box in the second half, and goals will soon follow. Bruno Guimaraes, 8/10. As usual, the Brazilian was composed on the ball and helped progress Newcastle's attack up the pitch. He was successful in playing passes through the lines and was accurate in 8 out of the 9 long balls he attempted. Showed great spatial awareness and with his flair was able to play through the West Ham press easily. Also assisted Joelinton's second of the evening with an impressive through ball. Joelinton, 8/10. Bar showing small signs of unfitness, which was expected. The number 7's game could not really be faulted. Scored a brace, courtesy of a well-timed run for his first, followed with great composure to take it around the keeper and a cultured finish for his second. Was a powerhouse in the middle and also showed his versatility to play left wing. Near perfect comeback game. Jacob Murphy, 7 out of 10. Probably should have scored his chance late in the second half, but could only force Fabianski to make his second save of the night. Was slightly more composed on the ball today, but is still relatively one-dimensional going forward, and would need to up his technical ability significantly if he was to stay as a regular starter in a fully fit Newcastle squad. However, he is proving to be a great squad player who continues to create chances down the right, as well as providing cover for Trippier. Callum Wilson, 8 out of 10. This was more like the pre-World Cup Wilson that Newcastle fans loved. He was strong in his hold-up play and effectively linked up well with Murphy and Saint-Maximin, as well as dropping to a more false nine position when needed, creating passing triangles with NUFC's midfield trio. Showed great movement to create himself space for his first goal, in which he headed home rather well, hitting the corner of the goal. Completed his match contributions by scoring United's third of the match and bagging himself a brace. Overall, Wilson looked a lot fitter and will undoubtedly rival his Swedish teammate for that starting role. Alan Saint-Maximin, 8, showcased his fancy footwork and agility when he easily passed Benrahma with a step over and then beautifully assisted Wilson's first goal with a pinpoint accurate cross, reinforcing the Frenchman's effectiveness on the opposite wing. Was good in his decision-making and looks to be molding into Howe's tactical framework more and more. Just needs to keep this consistency and try to add goals to his game. Substitutes. Anthony Gordon, 7 out of 10. Looked sharp when he came on and was successful in all of his 14 passes and dribbling attempts. Pressed the ball well and helped the defense, often tracking back. Joe Willock, 7 out of 10. Added even more energy to Newcastle's attack when he came on, often skipping past Caffel by exploiting the left-back's lack of pace, and used his usual athleticism to keep up the high intensity late on in the game. Alexander Isak, 8 out of 10. The informed striker came on and put up a display that matched his previous performances, showcasing to the league why he is one of the best up-and-coming talents from Sweden. He topped his highly energetic display with Newcastle's 5th of the evening, after a great first touch and a dink outside the box, following Fabianski's mistake. Also worth mentioning, he followed in Willock's footsteps by celebrating in a Thierry Henry-esque manner while simultaneously mimicking the West Ham keeper. Matt Targett, not applicable, came on with only a few minutes to go for the tired Dan Burn, and contributed well to the defense. Good to see the defender return to full match fitness following his 2-month injury. Javier Manquillo, not applicable. Again, the Spaniard came on very late for United and only touched the ball 3 times. The little time he had on the ball, he was accurate with it. Thanks for your watching. Don't forget to click the subscribed button and hit the bell icon for more.